Last year at this time it was 501 cases. So about half the rate this year compared to last year. So there's some real progress, especially in India. India, one case this year. One case in India this year. It's fantastic. We do have problems in Pakistan and Chad and the Democratic Republic of Congo. They're being worked on. But, you know, there is some fantastic news. I'll skip that next point. So what do we need to do? We need to keep the awareness of polio up. It's really hard because it's no longer visible. You know, we don't have polio in this country. We don't have polio in the advanced economies. Getting the money going for this disease is a challenge. We each need to tell the polio story. Have a pitch, you know, about what your position is on polio, and tell that story to your friends. You know, 20 or 30 seconds is all it takes. Wear the badge. I never go anywhere without my badge, ever. It's a political issue. When you want to get $200 million from the political system, you need to be influencing politicians. Tell your local member. And some people take this point a little bit too seriously. Get on your bike. Do something. Raise funds. I mean, raising funds is one thing that Rotarians are really good at. So we need to be raising funds, stage an event and allocate the funds to the polio fight. Influence philanthropists. I think every philanthropist in the country would know a Rotarian. If you are the Rotarian which the philanthropist knows, influence them. Tell them about Bill Gates and what that philanthropist is doing. Make a contribution yourself, big or small, doesn't matter. And take direct action. Maybe you want to go and put drops in the mouth of some children in India or wherever else. So just very quickly, Sue, how are we doing? I'll just... Yep. Here's a child getting polio drops. This is a child who is not going to get polio. So this is a real good story, but let's do the sums on what's happening here in economic terms. Let's say of the $200 million shortfall that we've got in the world right now, let's say I contribute $20 towards that. Well, the odds that that $20 is going to save this little girl is 1 in 10 million, so pretty long odds, right? But let's have a look at that. There's actually 1,000 kids a year or thereabouts who are getting polio, so our odds go to about 10,000, 1 in 10,000. Still very long odds. But we heard, I mentioned earlier the comment from Bruce Aylward from the World Health Organization that if we give up this fight, it's going to be 200,000 kids a year plus who are getting polio. So now our odds of the $20 making the difference of 1 in 50. So much better odds. But what we're talking about is eradication. And that means millions of kids who are not going to get polio over the future years. But now the odds that our $20 contribution is going to make the difference is about 1 in 1. So $20 contribution, you're going to save a child from polio. And the message I said before, that we can eradicate this disease, we absolutely should eradicate the disease. And with this, the work of the Rotarians around the world, we will do it. We absolutely will do it. We'll find the money. So let me see. There's a video which Rotary has just produced called This Close. It runs for about 2 minutes. Will I run that, or will we skip that one? Run that? You won't be able to hear it very well. So I actually...
I'll put the speaker down alongside the... We'll put the speaker alongside the laptop.
Oh yeah, okay, that's a good idea. I'll do that. I'll do this one. No, sorry. I'll leave a copy of it with you. The point I'm going to make is that there is this video that's just come out from Rotary, which tells the story about how close we are to eradicating polio. This close is the message from, you know, Desmond Tutu and Jack Nicholas and many others. We really are this close to eradicating this disease. We can get rid of it, and with the help of Rotarians, we will do it. And as Bruce Alwood says, if we blink now, we will lose forever the chance to eradicate an ancient disease. We can go one of two ways. We can eradicate the disease, or we can go back to the bad old days. We are right there at that juncture right now, and we've got to make the decision whether we want to find that extra 200 million and push it, or we give up. That's where we are. So that's my story, and I'll take questions.
And how long do you intend to be on the road with your ride?
Well, that depends how my body goes, Jim. So at the moment, my first objective is to get to Cairns.
Yep.
So that'll take a couple of months. Depends if my thighs and my knees and everything else hangs in. I'll then continue down the western side of the ranges down to Tassie and keep on telling the story. Yeah. By that time, my body will be 60 years old, and I'll just have to see how I go.
Yeah.
You're saying to maintain the disease, the money necessary is about 500-ish
Yeah,
per year indefinitely.
ongoing.
What is the technical difference, logistically, of 200 million injected once, say?
Mm-hmm. The $200 million extra is required for 3 years.
3.
Yeah.
So that's 600.
600, yeah.
And that's a case of a more endeavoured effort to get to everybody that's left.
Yes.
What
So-
would stop it? So if
There are
it's-
some specific things which are in the plan of the Global Polio Eradication Initiative which are just not being done because of lack of funds. They tend to be a lot of administrative things. You know, we got the vaccine, we've got all that sort of thing, but there's a lot of a whole range. I've got a slider on it here we can go and look at. But so there's a whole range of small things which just add up to about 200 million that we're just not doing.
And then it'd be just a monitoring phase for 10 years?
Yeah, well, no, not that long. Once the test for whether polio has been eradicated in the country is no cases for 3 years. So once there have been no cases of polio in the world for 3 years, we can basically stop the program.
But can you rely on that reporting out in the middle of nowhere? From the middle of nowhere?
One of the great things about the initiative is the quality of the program for monitoring for polio. It's one of the pillars of the program. And by the way, one of the really positive spin-offs that this program has had is that same monitoring facility is used for monitoring all sorts of other diseases too. So that is now in place. If there is a case of acute flaccid paralysis, then there is a system for teams to go in very, very rapidly and assess whether that paralysis is in fact polio. So it's a pretty good system, yeah.
Rob, one of our battles is obviously getting access to those last few countries, Pakistan, Afghanistan.
Yeah.
What programs are in place to try and get into there?
Well, you know, surprisingly, it's going very well. There was a case recently of the type 3 virus case in Pakistan in June, this June just gone. And it was in a very inaccessible area where the vaccination rate was down to 50% because of conflict in the area, in the northwest provinces. And there was a team went in there very, very rapidly and effectively addressed that situation. The virus was eradicated from Somalia during the Somali War. You know, it is possible. There's an expression for it, days when basically hostilities are called off in order for vaccinators to go in and vaccinate in various parts of the world. So there is a degree of cooperation even from combatants for that sort of situation. By the way, just on that virus type 3, there are three types of polio virus. Type 2 has been eradicated. Type 3 is almost eradicated in Asia, and type 1 is now our problem.
Robin,
Sam?
the mass movement of refugees at the moment around the world
Yeah,
is another traffic for
absolutely.
conveying the carrier into a clean region.
Yeah, we had a case last year of a Pakistani student coming to Australia.